Okay, this is actually not number 29, but number 30. Arrestafield bug report number 30. Okay. What I'm thinking of with, what is this bug report I'm going to talk about? The problem between the real and the virtual with the economy, okay? Problem is that everybody's trading paper, and there's no guarantee that that paper actually represents anything in the real world. Okay? So for every single paper dollar, or every single number in every single paper dollar, there needs to be an actual physical dollar, okay? And it has to be, and actually vice versa, for every single physical dollar, there needs to be an actual paper dollar. An individual one that does not represent anything else. Okay. Now, how do we go about doing this? How do we put some check into the system that anybody can do? All right, anybody. Not particular people, because individual people can be corrupted in government. So, here's how we can do this. All right, let's say, imagine like a safe. All right, this thing is clear. You can see through it. You just can't stick your hand through it and take anything out of it. Okay. Let's say there's 10 rows and 10 columns and 10 levels. And each of spaces, boxes and they're all clear, and each box contains a silver dollar. All right. So everybody can see this. Now let's say somebody issues, now part of the problem is that, you got to verify that this gold is good or not, or the silver is actually silver, all right? But let's not worry about that right now. Let's just make sure that there's one paper dollar for each individual real dollar, all right? So we want to use paper, unfortunately. But let's just say, we live in the town of Richmond, and what we want to do is use this currency and use it around Richmond, just around Richmond for right now. Okay. Now the problem is, you're going to have pieces of paper numbered 1 through 1,000, all right? Because there's 1,000 pieces of silver dollars, all right? So, problem is, how do we keep people from duplicating those pieces of paper? Because it's awfully easy. All right, well, it's going to happen. So we have to put a check into the system to make it apparent that this particular paper dollar has been duplicated, okay, or that there's paper dollars that don't exist. Okay, well, there's two problems. All right, two problems here. All right, one is, what if there's a paper dollar out there whose number is 1001? Clearly, you can look at the sheer quantity of dollars, real dollars, in the safe. Anybody can do this and say, oh, wait a minute, there's only 1,000 here. Well, how did we get this paper dollar with 1001 or 1010 on it? Okay. So somebody who gets this paper dollar with 1010 on it can actually go and see the safe full of the 1,000 coins and say, hey, wait a minute, this one is no good. This paper dollar doesn't actually represent, doesn't have anything backing it up, okay? Now, somebody else, let's say, there's another problem here, though. What if there's two number 900s? All right, somebody duplicated a bill with 900 on it, with the number 900. How are you going to make sure, how are you going to check that? How are you going to find out about that, if that happens? Okay. What you do is, there's some building, let's say some shop, something, maybe government office, whatever, someplace where you're going to have this safe. Clear safe, probably have some guards watching in there or something. Anyway, anybody can see that there's 1,000 coins in this safe. All right. Now, what you're going to do is, like, once a week, probably once a week, have sort of a lottery and say, hey, listen, everybody come down here, we're going to have a lottery. We know. And here's the deal. We're going to put, everybody's going to report what number they have on the bills that they have in their pocket. And if we find that anybody, if there's any duplicates, okay, out of the group of people who show up, all right, let's say there's two number 900. So this person over here has a 900. This person over here has a 900. There's two of them. One of them's a fake, at least. Maybe both of them are a fake. What we'll do is we'll say, okay, we'll pay you people who found the duplicates like $4, okay, 4 physical dollars, because you have to track down a duplicate, an illegal duplicate, okay? And I think that will encourage people to check up and make sure that there are no duplicates in the system. All right. I think that'll work. Anybody? I really do. I think that should work. Somebody might start duplicating on purpose so that they can get the dollars, but we're going to use that information to track down the people who duplicated this. All right, so once somebody does this, they're going to be suspect. Okay, so they might be able to get away with it one time, but if they do it again and again, it's like, okay, the people are going to start getting suspicious of this one person who ends up with a duplicate every week or something like that. So it's not a good idea to do that on purpose. All right, and then show up and try to get the money. All right. But if you do it one time, I mean, the chances are it's only going to happen, if you end up with a duplicate, hey, go ahead and report it and try to, there's two people who are going to end up with one that's either real or they're both duplicates. Either way, we've got evidence that there's a duplicate out there, and that's the important thing. All right. So anyway, that's the idea. Hopefully you understand it. But there's nothing in today's economy, in the banking system, that looks for actual duplicates. They just add up numbers, and they trust the accountants to add up the numbers properly and correctly, and that way this isn't working because there's no check in the system to make sure everything's one for one paper dollar for one real dollar. There is no check. Okay. I mean, accountants are supposed to do that, but I don't see how they can do that. Okay, I mean, they have to add up the numbers. There's all sorts of tricks that they can pull. All sorts of tricks. Okay, but this is what I'm saying is a really fundamental thing. And there's not that many tricks that they can pull. There's only like 2 tricks that they can try to pull, and I've dealt with both of them. Okay, you got to bring out the evidence. This is a way to put a check into the system where it makes it evident that something's wrong, and this is exactly what it is. That this particular note or paper dollar has been duplicated, or that this particular paper dollar has nothing backing it up in the real world. Okay, so it's a pretty simple idea. I think it was worth explaining to everybody. This is what I would do if I were running the country. Definitely do this, okay? Because it gives a way to track, have everybody actively look for, fraud. It gets everybody looking for the fraud. And there'll be a bit of a payoff, not that much, but there'll be some payoff. And if you keep on, then that person is going to be suspect. If they keep on coming up with duplicates, it's going to be pretty obvious that person is going to be suspect. Okay. So anyway, but we definitely seem to want to use computer systems to trade and make trade easy, but that's the problem, is that what's in the computer system is just virtual, it's not real. So we got to have some sort of check to make sure that what's in the virtual system actually matches reality. Okay? Because if it doesn't, there's fraud there, and we have to correct the fraud as soon as it shows up. We can't let the fraud accumulate again and again and again. It has to be dealt with immediately. And this is the way to do it, I think. It has to be dealt with immediately and on a regular basis. Okay? I think this is the best way to do it. So, anyway, I've already gone about 14 minutes. Don't have much time left. What else can I say in that regard? Actually, I think it could be a government function. Anyway, I'll stop right there. That's the arrestafield bug report number 30.